What's happening, guys? My name is Anthony, and in today's video we're going to be doing another track guide for Monaco. So if you do end up learning from this track guide, make sure to come back to it later on and let me know exactly how much time you were able to shave off thanks to this track guide. And without further ado, we're going to get into the hot lap, and then we'll do a detailed lap around Monaco showing you how to be quick around the track.
Last lap was a 1 minute 7.8.
So guys, what you want to do is, coming off of the final corner, you want as much speed going into turn one as you possibly can. So what the best thing is to do for that is to turn in later, and that allows you to get your foot on the throttle a little bit sooner, and that carries that speed all the way down the start finishing line straight. And you want to open up DRS as soon as you possibly can. And in the first turn, it comes at you a lot quicker than you would expect. As you can see, it's already here. And just before you get to this Monaco Grand Prix sign, so roughly right around about here, I would say this is where I start braking, usually in 7th gear. Try and keep the car as straight as you possibly can without hitting, obviously, the outside fencing there. I've done that so many times. But anyways, going into the corner now, you want to shift down into 4th gear and then hug this inside curb as much as you can without invalidating. Of course, it does help just rotate the car just like a little bit more, and then you want to drift out as wide as you possibly can. So try and have the tires as close to the fencing as you possibly can, and then hopefully that will allow you to carry the speed all the way up this hill. And then for this next corner now, what I usually tend to do is brake just as I'm coming up to this zebra crossing right here. And then I keep the car just a little bit wide at the start of the corner, shifting down to 5th. And then as I turn the car towards the actual inside here, shift down once into 4th, trying to hit a late apex right around about here where the Monaco Grand Prix sign is. And then as soon as you move towards the UBS sign on the left hand side here, just flick the car in 4th gear and then try and hit that inside curbing without hitting the fencing. Of course, the amount of times that I've hit the fencing is ridiculous. And then try and be as smooth as you possibly can on the exit, because this next part here, the car's all over the place. Oversteer, especially if you've got an aggressive setup, like if you're using a time trial setup, for example, it can really send the car spinning. And then for this next corner, you're going to be in 5th gear, and then as soon as you come up to this changing color of fencing here, so you see how it goes to white, that's what I use as my braking zone. Usually just brake either just on it or just after it in 5th gear, and then quickly shift down into 2nd gear and hold 2nd gear. As from what I've done playing the game, it's allowed me to carry just a little bit more speed around this corner. And then obviously you want to hug that as tight as you can, get on the throttle early and short shift up to 3rd. And then for this corner now, you want to brake earlier than you would think. So just as you're coming up to the pole on the left hand side, that's when I start braking. Brake in a straight line and then just try and rotate the car as best as you can. Honestly, I've not seen much of a difference whether you hug the inside curbing or if you don't, but obviously you want to be as close as you possibly can to it, because that'll allow you to come over to the left hand side for this next corner. And you want to use 2nd gear, have one of your tires ride over that right hand side curb, and then just drift wide. And then for this next corner, just as you're coming under the bridge, that's when you want to start braking, and then turn the car in earlier than you would think. For this corner, you think you would want to stay out wide and then just try and get the best exit that you can. But for this corner, you can actually turn in very, very soon, and then just try and get your foot on the throttle as soon as you can without losing the rear end of the car, and you'll gain so much time. The amount of time I've gained from that is quite ridiculous. But coming up just after the tunnel now, coming up to this next braking zone, which is the chicane, which is one of the hardest corners in my personal opinion on this track. You're going to be in 7th gear. I usually brake just after the 100 meter board. Try and keep the car as straight as possible as you usually would, especially if you're not using ABS. Shift down into 3rd gear, carry the speed in through, and then one last downshift into 2nd gear, and then just cut this corner. In this game, it's so unrealistic. You can cut a lot of this corner, so try and cut it as much as you can without invalidating, and then straight line the car short shift up to 3rd gear. And you want to keep the car going straighter just until you get the car, you know, steady, and then you can turn in. And then for this next corner, you're going to be in 6th gear, just before the 50 meter board, have a little dab on the brakes, and then you want to you want to shift down into 5th gear and just flick the car in. And hopefully you don't hit this inside barrier here. You want to be as close to that curb as you possibly can, and then just try and get your foot on the throttle as soon as you can. This next corner is completely fat. You're going to be in 6th gear coming up into this next corner. And speaking of this next corner, I use the bush on the left hand side just outside of the track as my braking zone. So just before I get to that, that's where I start braking. It's a light braking actually. You can carry quite a lot of speed through this corner compared to what you can in real life. So it's a light braking. Shift down into 4th and just carry the speed in. You don't have to worry about going on the outside there. You can cut a lot of this curb. I believe you can cut up until the yellow sausage curb here. So as soon as your right hand tires are on the yellow sausage curb, I think that's what counts as an invalidation on the game. Other than that, it's free game for you. And then what I usually do is coming up to this corner, I think this is Raskas, 5th gear, just before I get to the Monaco Grand Prix sign, similar to the first corner, that's where I start braking. I like braking once again because you can easily lock up the car if you're not using ABS. Shift out into 2nd gear and then just try and hug this second apex right here, this corner, as much as you can without being too close, or else the rear end of your car is going to hit it and you're going to spin. And then once again for the final corner, unlike before when you were starting your lap, when you're ending your lap, you want to turn in as soon as you possibly can. So usually when I get to this orange fencing, that's when I start turning in 2nd gear, and I short shift up to 3rd gear. I believe in the hot lap that I'm showing you guys in this video, I ended up short shifting twice when I didn't mean to, which did lose me quite a bit of time going up the start finishing line straight here. Once again, open up DRS as soon as you can, and then that is a lap of Monaco. So I hope that that detailed guide around Monaco was helpful to you guys. Obviously the best way to get better at the game is to go out there and practice yourself, but hopefully this gave you a baseline on how to go around the track as quickly as possible. Make sure to come back to this video and comment down below how much time you were able to shave off thanks to this guide. Make sure to also hit the subscribe button as well, and stick around until the end card if you want to check out some of the other track guides that I've already posted as well. And make sure to give the video a like as well, as it will help share it out to other people who may need this video as well. And I'll catch you guys in my next video.